Mental health and well-being, my Monday weekly insight, is all about self-care. Is self-care an indulgence or modern life of necessity? Now, taking a step back to look at why we're busy, what we could do less of, accept help with, or simply just omit from our lives is an important step to our self-care. Now, do you ever feel guilty for taking time to just simply switch off or do something just for yourself? I know I do. Worrying that it might be seen as self-indulgent or simple laziness. Now, I have felt guilty in the past, but I know that it is absolutely needed. And you know what? It took me going through a tough time to actually realize the true importance of self-care, mental and emotional self-care, which results in overall well-being. So if your answer is yes, you are not alone. But why do we still feel like this? Why is busy so often used as a marker for success or self-worth? And why do we find it so difficult to shift down a gear and just look after what's important? Number one, being busy can be a positive. It allows us to get things done, to maintain our momentum and stay motivated. An old saying, if you want something doing, ask a busy person, rings very true. Often the less we do, the less we want to do. So really, we just need to find the right balance for ourselves. Problems can arise, however, when we're not given or don't give ourselves the opportunity to be less busy and have some downtime in our lives. The distracting constant beeps of our smartphones, endless to-do lists, answering emails, caring for independence, these things can eventually take a toll on our mental and physical well-being if we don't allow ourselves to hit that reset button now and again. That's not to say being busy is a bad thing, but it depends on what you're busy with and why. Some of us fear boredom and like to be occupied, and that is absolutely fine too. But sometimes we like to take our minds off something that's worrying us, and also that's fine too, as long as we're not using our busyness as a tactic to avoid something in our life we would benefit from facing up to instead. So, taking a step back to look at why we're busy, what we could do less, accept those helps and simply omit from our lives is an important step to self-care. Now, the definition of which will be as an individual as we are is very different. So whatever you choose to do or to do to help you to take your time off for yourself, it's entirely your choice. You make the choices. While some pressures can be good, it's less so if you've no time or thinking space to develop. Be creative or just feel like you're on top of things. It's one thing to be firing off all your cylinders, but it's quite another thing to be constantly firefighting. So ask yourself which camp you fall into. Now, some tips I'd like to share with you if you're feeling overwhelmed. Just try these tips, allowing yourselves a bit of downtime and, without giving yourself a hard time. So, number one, first accept that it's okay to change pace for the sake of your own well-being, but also for others who might rely on you. 2, carve out some time in your day that's just for you. It might mean getting up a little bit earlier, but whatever you do, make sure it's something that you will benefit or that will benefit your well-being. When the demands of the day take over, you will at least have done something good for yourself first. 3, prioritize your sleep. We've heard this many times before, but I can't stress it enough. You will feel calmer, more focused on your tasks if you've had quality sleep. If a lie-in isn't an option, try a reverse lie-in. In other words, go to bed early. Your wind down routine could include having a bath, listening to some music, or even reading a book before lights out. And I know that's tricky because that's an area that I'm working on and still working on. 4, know that it's okay to spend time being instead of doing. Sometimes we just need to honor our body and mind by resting up. Your central nervous system, the hard wiring in your body, is responsible for how you respond to stress, and you will thank yourself for it. 5, make time to socialize. Keeping in contact with friends and family that make you feel positive and supported will help bring a bit of relief and realization that you're not alone in your feelings. And I know it's harder right now, but it's possible. 6, organize yourself by keeping a bullet journal. It'll help you prioritize your list of to-do while learning to accept what can probably go on a back burner. 7, keep a worry diary as well. Worrying isn't productive, okay? It's not a productive way to spend your time before you know what you've done, because all these irrational thoughts about events are not going to happen because you don't really know when it's going to happen. So keep a diary. Now, a lot of these tips you may have heard me say before, and yes, that is because they apply to so many different elements of our lives to ensure that we support mental health and well-being. Now, if you wish to know more in how I can help you grow and make positive changes, then just simply arrange a free discovery call with me. No obligations whatsoever. So let's make this happen, that your self-care is in place and that you can move day to day in your lives, doing the things that you do, but also feeling great mentally and physically.